So something that is usually frustrating for me, and I think some people can relate, is I'm always trying to get the best gear I can with me in my backpack if I'm traveling or going somewhere, and sometimes a tripod is just plain too fat or wide or heavy, cumbersome. It can be the case when I'm trying to do videography or pictures, or I just have a light accessory, maybe a monitor that I need to set up. And a tripod is just more than I need or more than I want to carry. And that's where this monopod from Vanguard comes in. This is actually a genuinely tall tripod, or monopod. See, it's just in my head, always tripods. This is a monopod, and this monopod has awesome features. Most of the features that I'm used to with a tripod, I don't give up much. And in fact, this one gets even taller than most of the tripods I've run, even other tripods from Vanguard. This right here comes up to about chin level for me, and I'm 6'5". This is really, really impressive. And if I'm doing camera work and I'm setting up a camera on top of this, it gets to eye level for me. That is not common. This is a cool monopod, so I want to tell you a little bit more about it. First of all, I did not memorize the name of this, and I'm going to have to read it. It is the VEO CM-264T BP-120T carbon fiber. That's a long name. I couldn't memorize it, and I don't really care about names too much. But you can see here it is almost like a trekking pole feel with this gummy texture towards the top. This is really cool. And in the wintertime, like right now, it's actually relatively cold. It's under 20 degrees. When it's this cold out, it's nice to have something that isn't even carbon fiber or aluminum or metal of any sort to hold on to, because it just holds heat better. It resists the cold better. I like this overall. It does have a wrist lanyard, as you can see here. The wrist lanyard, for me, I don't need to use that very often except for when I pack it. Now it actually makes sense. There is a clip on top. There's an accessory clip here, and hopefully I'm running some B-roll so you can see that. But this accessory clip allows me to clip it to a bag and make sure it doesn't get lost or pushed out of my bag, side pockets, anything like that. And then I can actually wrap this around something. Occasionally, when I hook up a camera and I'm moving something around, I might actually loosen the bottom plate here to get some angle and then use this to pull back on as I'm pushing forward with the other hand and give some tension to the monopod here, which is a great way to use it if you're trying to get really smooth shots back and forth and change angles. That way you have some sort of tension there, and it's not just a fluid, movement of your arm. It might be too fast. It might be changing speeds. So it just allows you to, in a very analog way, in a very basic way, smooth out some of that movement. Now, when it comes to the actual head, the head is really good. Let me go ahead and clip my mic. Okay, if you're curious what's on top is the VEO BP-120T. So this clamp will fit all of my accessories. It is an Arca clamp. It does have a little bit of a retaining pin on top to keep some of your plates. If you use Vanguard plates, it'll keep them in place. There's a nice rubberized dial on the side to tension and tighten. There is a bubble level on top. And then if you want to take off this right here, this is a column that you might want to use. Let me just loosen this up a little bit. You might want to use this for directing or aiming. I've used that a lot of times with a very small monocular on top to aim it around. And I don't typically have it on this side in front of me. It's usually out like this. So you can use that to steer if you're locked into position and you want to do a panning shot. You can use this to pan on the head. The head does move pretty well. It's very cold out right now, like I said, and even though it's cold, I'm getting good consistent movement on the pan feature. Just like that right there. And this is a nice kind of aggressive texture on here, so you can get a good purchase on it. Again, it's a little warmer than holding on to metal. This is plastic right here, but it is removable. So if you don't want that on there, you could just go ahead, loosen up this, and it will come out all together. And now you have an even smaller footprint than before, which was already pretty small. I'll throw mine back in. And that's just basically a tension screw right there, that fitting. Sometimes when I pack this and throw it in a bag, I will move this around and tighten it down like that. And as you can see, this doesn't take up hardly any more space. And most of the time I can fit this much. It's just the tripod with the 3 legs is a little bit wide. And so this is much, much thinner, technically about 1/3 the size of a full-size tripod, obviously because it's just 1 stem instead of 3 legs. Kind of briefly here, I'll just talk about the actual extension bits. You have 1, 2, 3 extensions going from the thickest down to the thinnest. None of them are terribly thin in a bad way. They're all pretty appropriate for what I would expect. They have a nice gummy texture on them, and the carbon fiber in each segment is really high quality. I feel like I've never ever seen a blemish actually in any of my Vanguard products concerning the carbon fiber especially. It's all been really nice, high quality carbon fiber. Looks great. It's strong and it's lightweight, which is what it's supposed to do. Moving on down, this is the portion that a lot of people are going to be interested in. So you want to have some ability to flex. And if I can show you, there is definitely ability to flex here, not just within the feet, but actually in the knob. So I loosen up a knob that was applying tension. It's screwed down to the base pretty tight. And when I loosen that up, I can move this around a pretty significant degree, but it still keeps enough tension through this bit on the bottom that I don't feel like it's gonna snap. It doesn't feel weak, and it's not just gonna collapse on me. And most of the time, I keep my hand on it anyways, but I get a little flex in there to move around, compensate for the ground if the ground is unlevel, or again, if I'm trying to make a creative shot for something, this little bit of movement right there is enough. If you can take a look at the feet with me here, the feet are large. They're pretty oversized as far as the pads go, and it provides a pretty good footprint for stability on the ground, while at the same time you pull out and push up. Now the feet, tighten this up, now the feet are going to be out of the way, and my footprint is really small. I mean, look at this. That's not bad. This is actually pretty impressive. It fits inside my backpack now, or sometimes like I said, I'll actually attach it to the outside, and the feet don't interfere. They don't seem to hang up on stuff. It's a pretty good design, and that's just built on a spring, so I can fold them down easily. And when I'm done, I just pull out and lift up on each one of them. A good robust spring, but that's what you need to make sure these feet stay in place and flip out the way they're supposed to. It's a great design. Plenty of actual foot space there, and sometimes I'll put a foot on it when I'm making some angled adjustments or getting a shot that's going to be creative again. I'll put my foot on there just to keep it in place as I tilt towards something and back, and it gives you pretty much all the versatility that you're going to expect out of a monopod. Okay, I thought it might be useful for you to see a way that I actually do carry it. I have a gray Ghost Gear backpack, which is a concealment style backpack. I actually just use it for one of my folding hunting rifles. And when I go hunting, sometimes I need a tripod for just simply glassing, or maybe I'm recording and I have a good stable stationary spot to stay at. Maybe I want to throw my rangefinder on top of it and I need to level out. It could be an option. Most of the time it's camera related stuff though. And you can see here it fits inside my drink pocket and pouch on the backpack, and then this backpack has a clip where I do clip in my monopod. Pull that out, and it fits really well inside of this. And this isn't a huge pouch, but it's very backpackable. As you can see here, very small footprint, especially compared to a tripod. Even the tripod I'm filming on, which is the Vesta Go 264 CV12. That model is very compact, it's very small, but it's still not as light and compact, probably more versatile in some ways, but you're gonna pay for it with the weight of that, whereas this is just incredibly light, slim, low profile, and fits on this low profile backpack. As you can see here, there's not much to it, it's just a tall bag. Go ahead and throw that to the side, and can take a closer look at some of the ways that I will actually use this, how it's set up, and the design in general. Really briefly, I'm just going to fold this out and extend it a little bit to get it in camera shot here. what I want to show you is actually the plate that it comes with. I was looking at this plate initially, and at a glance, I thought I knew exactly what I was looking at, and I didn't. This is a really cool plate, so let me go ahead and remove the plate from the monopod, put that aside for a second. This is a cool piece of gear, and the actual name of it, let me get this out of the way, is the QS72T. This is an extremely versatile plate. This is worth actually talking about and zooming in a little bit so you can get a better look at it. Here's the plate. You can see that it does have pretty significant grips on top, pads, if you will, for your camera to sit evenly and kind of grab onto it. On the side, it is threaded for attachments, which is really neat. That's actually a great idea, especially if you're trying to find a place to put an extended arm or one of those other Vanguard resources. You do have an adjustable thumb disc on the bottom that has the loop, the rainbow there, so you can grab that. You don't need a tool per se. You don't need a flathead or a standard to tighten this up all the way. You can just use that loop. I really like that. I wish everybody would do it. And then you can see there is a little bit of a button here. There's something on top, this little track, which I didn't initially notice. I'm going to open it up for you so you can see what this actually is. This is a phone accessory holder, and it actually flips out to hold your phone like that. It's got extension with a spring, I think on both sides, and it does have a magnet there to also help it stay latched into place inside. That's pretty cool. But I'm just super impressed, and then there's an accessory holder on top. I'm super impressed at the thoughtfulness and design of this product. It is metal, it's not plastic, or it's an aluminum at least. So pretty robust, and it does a good job. It can hold my phone. I have a very large Google Pixel 8 XL. It's a very large phone, and it can sneak that in there with the case. It's a little bit tight, but not too bad. This has enough of an overhang with a pad on top and a pad on bottom to grab your device, hold it in place. I think that is superb because sometimes I want to use my device, like the Pocket Osmo that I'm using to film this right now. And then sometimes it's kind of important to me to be able to use my phone either as a monitor or as a backup to record something. If my Osmo dies, it's very often too cold out. So I have both options in this one disc, and I absolutely will be leaving this disc with this monopod because they work really well together in conjunction. One thing I do like about this monopod is that I can stop at any point. I can lift it up and get it to a better height for whatever filming I'm going to do very easily. It's just one pole to grab onto and one twister. And then on top of that, I can put my foot on it and balance that. Even though I'm on a hill right now, the hill you can tell is maybe inclining a little bit. I just put my foot down and hold onto it for a second. If it's really windy or it's just not a very well balanced area, very unlevel, I can hold onto this way. And I think like vloggers and those kind of guys would appreciate being able to stabilize it while their hands are busy. I have both my hands busy right now. Just a cool feature of this is being able to hold it down and then pick it back up, and it's air light. This thing is so light and easy to work with. In closing, I'm going to talk you through a few of the specs. It has 4 sections, 3 twisters. The main body is 26 millimeters. I have a carbon fiber model, although it does come with some other body types. You can get an aluminum version, but mine with the carbon fiber only weighs 2.9 pounds. That's crazy light. It does fold down to 23.6 inches, fits in a backpack pretty well for me, and extends to a maximum height of 65 inches, and it's still very strong in my opinion. It can handle camera loads up to 26.5 pounds, which I find very impressive for that very small head. It's got a foldable tri-feet, which allow for enhanced stability rather than just a stab or stick monopod. I like the minimal footprint that it comes with. The ball joint allows for smooth panning, as well as shooting stills or doing video. The advanced twist on the legs, that motion and then lock, only requires a half-inch turn, so it's very quick to lock or unlock and set up the monopod in seconds. It comes with a 1/4-inch thread to mount your choice of head if needed. It does have a wrist strap and a carabiner as well, both to make it easier to carry it on the go. Like I said, attaching to a backpack or a bag is very easy. The ball head can convert to pan head with a telescopic handle in seconds, and the Arca-Swiss compatible QS72T quick plate that is smartphone compatible, or even maybe a small light if you use one of those digital lights like I do, and that can accommodate up to a 3.54 inch wide screen. I'm very impressed with this. I like the features, and it's a really great quality product that comes in pretty darn affordable, especially compared to other carbon fiber tripods. Vanguard always comes in swinging hard, and I would say probably a little cheaper than a lot of the competition, yet it has more features. So thanks for watching this video. If you like it, go ahead and comment down below, or maybe watch one of these videos that is also handpicked for you.